Yes, I will take you through a brief history of what happens in Lagos. You are quite aware that Lagos is a state in Nigeria out of the 36, is the one that has the least landmass. And out of that least landmass, 40% is land and probably wetlands and solid land. The larger percentage of it is covered with water. Wow. And when you slice Nigeria into two, you get a typology of a relief that is descending from the north down south, which tells you that whatever happens in the north, let us take water as a continuum. Whatever water bodies that flows from the north, if we agree that water is a continuum, whatever you drop in the north is coming to the south, So Lagos, yes, Lagos is at the lowest ebb of strata in Nigeria, and by virtue of the information I've given that 40% land and 60% water, you can now see that there is that important aspect of making physical development sustainable. For us to be able to manage the land, which is very scarce in Lagos, we must be able to determine what activities happens in space. And that is exactly what the physical planning, is out to achieve. When you are talking of physical planning, you want to, arrange activities with themselves so that you have maximum convenience of beauty and aesthetics. You see, you are going to amass land use together, those that are compatible. Those that are not compatible, you need to, disaggregate them. And while you are doing that, you are trying to make the environment much, much efficient and effective. That is the reason why planning is very, very key in Lagos State. For us to be able to manage the little space that we have, because of the rate at which migration comes into Lagos, the rate of urbanization is very, very high. And anytime you are trying to improve one development or the other in specific corridors, it attracts more population. And Lagos is not a state that has a gate to check who comes in. When you consider Nigeria as heterogeneity, people will just come from anywhere just to search for that greener pasture. And once they are coming in, they are giving us issues of how to manage our environment. We are talking of issues of housing, talking of transportation, talking of every aspect that affects human life. And I used to say this, if not because of the quest for development, the God Almighty Allah that created the heaven and earth was a foremost planner. Yeah. Because let land be there, let water be there, let vegetation be there. But because we are human beings, we are dynamic. We want to ensure that our environment, respond to our demands. The quest for development, led to alterations of most of these planned strategies that God Almighty has put in place. And because of that quest, we are now experiencing that global warming that is affecting everybody. Part of our quest actually led to development of technologies, development of all sort of things that actually, change the ozone layer.
So and you're saying the plants can help?
Yes. You see, the essence is that once we have plans that says, okay, because of the need to achieve sustainability, this particular use is supposed to be there, that particular use is supposed to be there. There is need for human beings whom that plan is supposed to serve to have a sort of sanctity of that plan. They must observe the sanctity of that plan. What we are saying is that people must be able to have that, not forceful, act of, letting people, comply with the provisions of, that is, we are talking of voluntary compliance with the provisions of the plan. If you are not voluntarily complying with this, there is going to be a distortion in the environment. You see, in planning, we have said any single line that you see in this, just look at my back. You can see this is the plan of Ikorodu, master plan of Ikorodu sub-region. You see, any single line you see in this map
Means something.
tells you that there are so many, brain activities, considerations before you can say this something should go there, that something should go there. And the way we have designed the plan ensures that if we apply this in total, the environment is sustainable. But anytime you are trying to, go against the provisions of this plan, then we are trying to distort the balance within the environment. The environment, fine, human environment, but we know that we cannot live as human if there are no plants, there are no flora and fauna. All these species, they add to our value. And these are the things that planning, considers before we can say this one should be there, that one should be there.